If you do a little bit of research about the Nikon ZR, you will know that the most exciting thing about the Nikon ZR is the red raw code, the R3D NE raw codec that Nikon ZR gives you. But what comes to your mind immediately is that, hey, it's a raw file, right? Which means 6K raw is going to be a large file. Even if you shoot at 6K 24 in red raw. And in most situations, you're probably shooting in 6K 50 or 6K 60 because you want to be able to slow down the footage in post later on. So the automatic question that comes to mind is, well, this is going to be very storage intensive if I'm going to use this camera and use its best codec. Most people typically would shoot with 180 or 128 or 256 GB memory cards. Some others would upgrade to 512 GB, but then you'll understand even 512 doesn't feel like it's enough for a 6K raw. So you're thinking at 1 TB and thinking, well, what is going to be good enough for me if I want to shoot only red raw, and what kind of SSD storage space do I need? So, I mean, figuring out the workflow and storage and cost around that is going to be important, I guess, going forward as raw becomes more and more mainstream. Therefore, this video is important. Therefore, let me tell you what I found out. I have a 2 TB card. I have actually a 2 TB AV Pro Gen 4 card, and that's about in US dollar terms, it'll be somewhere between 440 to 500 US dollars, which is not cheap as far as cards go. But I bought the card. It's 2 TB, which is, I mean, you know. But even if you go for a 1 TB card, how much storage I will get in R3D RAW and in RAW, in ProRes RAW HQ, in H.265 10-bit 420, I mean H.265 10-bit 420 and ProRes HQ 10-bit 422. So I've done the calculation for you, and I'll just take you through the most important things. The most common thing for people to shoot is 4K 24, although for this camera, everyone would, I think, one should prefer to shoot 6K 24. By the way, I'm shooting this on Nikon ZR 4K 24, and I figured that the image quality is absolutely stunning. It's great. I'm fine with 4K 24 or 4K 60. I don't necessarily feel the need to go to 6K 60 or 6K 24 unless I need to really crop. So yeah, that's just one submission. So 1 TB 4K 24 R3D RAW. Well, should I tell you R3 RAW? Should I tell you 10-bit H.265 420? Let me tell you the figure first. So if you shoot in H.265 10-bit 420 in 4K 24, you'll get 10 hours, 9 hours 59 minutes. If you go for 4K 24, instead of 4K 24, if you go for 4K 30 in H.265 10-bit 420, you will still get 10 hours, 9.59, 9 hours and 59 minutes. So why so? I understand that therefore the 4K 30 and 4K 24 has the same bitrate, which means the 4K 24 file is going to be richer because, of course, it has less frames but carries more same amount of data. That's a very interesting side find for me. Okay. Yeah, I guess if I'm not shooting RAW, I should go for 24p and not go for 30p in Nikon. Okay, so the next most interesting thing is 4K 60 and 6K 60. So let's look at 4K 60 in H.265. It's 5 hours and 39 minutes in 4K 60. In all these figures are for 1 terabyte. Okay, 1 terabyte, 5 hours and 39 minutes, 4K 60. What if you do 4K 120, okay, which comes with a crop? It's 4 hours 43 minutes of 4K 120 in 1 terabyte SSD with H.265 10-bit 420, which is what most people shoot, by the way. Okay, now if I say that, hey, let's go for 6K 60, 6K 60 again, 4 hours 43 minutes. So 6K 60 and 4K 120 gives you about the same, the exact same runtime. What about 6K 30? 6K 30 is 5 hours and 39 minutes. Look, honestly, although I'm getting 4K 30 or 24, I'm getting 10 hours runtime for this in H.265. I would rather go for 6K because in H.265 I can afford to get a slightly larger file size for the high resolution file. So I'll go for honestly 6K file in H.265. I get 5 hours and 39 minutes in both 24p and 30p. And in 60p, 6K 60, I still get more than 4 hours. In fact, close to 5 hours. 4 hours and 43 minutes. And that's the same for, like I said, 4K 120, 4 hours 43 minutes. Let's go for the other 10-bit file, which is the ProRes HQ 10-bit 422 this time. What about 4K 30 and 4K 24? Here, 4K 24 gives you 2 hours 44 minutes. It's down from 9, almost 10 hours to 4 hours and 44 minutes. So you can see it's almost 4 times the size of the H.265 10-bit. So what Nikon is giving you is very high quality 10-bit 422 in ProRes HQ, which is high quality and at the same time very smooth to sort of play on your computer. 2 hours 44 minutes for 4K 24. And now here 4K 30 actually gives you lesser runtime than 4K 24. It's 2 hours 12 minutes. 4K 24, 2 hours 44 minutes. This is 4K 24, 2 hours 12 minutes. So about half an hour's difference, which means that 4K 13 ProRes HQ is not compromised. Okay, you get more data for those extra 6 frames a second. 4K 60 in ProRes HQ 10-bit is 1 hour 6 minutes. To be honest, 4K 60, 1 hour 6 minutes is good. It's quite good. You do not get 120 frames a second in 4K in ProRes HQ 10-bit. You can instead get 6K. Now the funny thing is, the 6K and 4K figures in terms of runtime is the exact same. So there is no point shooting in ProRes HQ 10-bit 4K when you get the same runtime, which means the same kind of data. I think you should just go for 6K. So 6K 60, you're getting 1 hour 6 minutes. 6K 30, you're getting 2 hours 12 minutes. And 6K 24, you're getting 2 hours 44 minutes in ProRes HQ 10-bit. Let's go directly to Red Raw. Now, so I told you that 4K and 6K 24 in ProRes HQ 10-bit is 2 hours 44 minutes. So what about 4K 24 Red Raw? It's 3 hours 15 minutes. So Red Raw is more efficient than ProRes HQ 10-bit. Just think about that, okay? What if we go for 6K 24, okay? And now we have a different situation. In 1 terabyte, 6K 24 gives you 1 hour 30 minutes, which is about more than 1 hour less than ProRes HQ 6K 24. So 1 hour 30 minutes of 6K 24 and 1 hour 12 minutes of 6K 30, 36 minutes of 6K 60. Only 36 minutes of 6K 60. You can do 6K, you can do 4K 120 in 4K. Of course, you can do 4K and 120 in 4K in Red Raw, and you get 40 minutes. I think that's not bad. I think for 1 TB 4K 120 in RAW, 40 minutes is not bad. Yeah. So these are the information, and that is the reason I actually went for the 4 TB card. And if you can afford to go for the 4 TB card, I could not. I mean, I think at this point it was a lot of money, so I actually went for the 2 TB card, and the 4 TB card would have been a little less than double the cost, but yeah, quite a bit of money. So, what am I going to get in 2 TB? I'm going to get R3D 4K 24 for 6.5 hours. So I'm sorted. Okay. I'm not going to shoot in 4K 24, I shoot in 30. So I'm going to get 5 hours of 65 hours and 16 minutes of 4K 30 in retro. Okay. And if I want to do 4K 60, I'm going to get 2 hours and 38 minutes. If I want to do 4K 120 in 2 TB in retro, I'm going to get 1 hour and 21 minutes. If I want to do 6K 60, so 6K 60 and 4K 120 has the same data rate across. That's what I'm finding. That's very interesting. So 4K 120 retro, 1 hour 21 minutes. So 6K 60, 1 hour 21 minutes in retro. Honestly, 1 hour and 21 minutes of retro 4K 60 is not bad at all. But I think in this situation, I'm not going to go for 4K 6K 60. I'm going to go for 4K 60, and I'm going to get more than 2 hours. So I'm quite happy to shoot. If I'm shooting raw in most situations, unless I'm going for the detail or I need to zoom in post, if I'm shooting wildlife, for example, okay, I know that I'll probably have to compensate for the lens, and I might have to zoom in a little more. At that point, I understand that I need to shoot 4K, 6K. But in most other situations, when I'm controlling the size of the subject in the frame, I can go forward, I can fill the frame. I don't feel I need to go for 6K. I think the kind of detail I saw on 4K, this is in RAW. Okay, I think so. Yeah, this is 4K 30 RAW, and you can see the kind of detail you get here. I'm quite happy with this. I was always shooting H.265 6K on the Z6 or 4.1K downsampled from 8K on the Z8. But now I think I'm quite happy with 4K 30 for these kind of videos. And in events or wedding kind of situations, I'm okay with 4K 60. I'm going to get 2 hours and almost 40 minutes. That's a lot of video file, okay, for 2 TB, and I'm quite happy with that. I'll probably carry my SSD with me. I'm gonna, if I need, I'm gonna quickly, shift the file to my SSD. If I need to clear the card immediately, I can do that. It's definitely going to take about half an hour, so that's something. So yeah, so that's something I have to be really careful about. But I have a backup card of about 160 GB that I got from Nikon, which will give me some time. I can honestly move to, for that duration of time when I'm clearing the other card, the 2 TB card, I can use the 160 GB card and basically shoot H.265 for some time. Okay, and for about half an hour, and then by the time the card is cleared, I'm going to go and change the card. So that's the kind of runtime you're going to get with the Nikon ZR if you have 1 TB card or 2 TB card. I honestly think it's quite manageable. I think it's better to go for two terabyte card, and it makes sense that Nikon actually reduced the price of a camera so much that they can allot some money for storage, because let's say you're going for a more expensive Canon C50, and if you go for these expensive cameras, whether you call them cinema cameras or not, if you go for these kind of expensive, very powerful cameras, you should actually use the best codec. There's no point in not using the best codes. And when you do that, I think it's useful to build out storage, okay, because you want to get the most out of your very good high-end professional camera. That's all, which is why I've chosen 2 TB. But yeah, if you don't want to go for 2 TB, you have to at least go for 1 TB, and at least a 4 TB SSD. I would say go for either the T7 Shield, but I'm not sure whether T7 Shield is available in 4 TB. So either go for the T7 Shield 2 TB or go for the T9 4 TB. If you can't, then the 4 TB T7 is alright as well, but you're going to get a slump in data transfer rate after the cache is full. The cache is after the cache is full. So I know that because I'm using that. Like if I'm transferring about more than a TB after the first 100 GB or so, or 100 200 GB or so, it's going to slow down, and the SSD is going to get very hot. I need to like I was like doing this. I have a long USB-C wire, and it was getting so hot. I just held it and just moved around in the air so that it kind of cools down. Okay, and that helped. That immediately increases transfer speed. So that's one clear sort of bottleneck. If I use a smaller card, I'll fill it up and I have to change. I have to transfer the material to an SSD or some other drive and do it. And when you transfer 1 TB, 2 TB files, it's just better that you have a fast SSD. Subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think, and let me know what else you want to know. Help me reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of December. I know it's not looking easy, but help me out and help me reach. You can join the channel, and there's going to be a lot of conversation. You can join the channel. It's not expensive at all. I think you're going to see a lot of value, and I'm going to, of course, it's funny that I'm not articulating the value to you right now. I want to be a little honest. I'm still figuring out how to create the exact uh, value for people who spend that little extra, apart from your time, to take the membership of the channel. I'll figure that out, but I promise I'm going to have something interesting for you. Okay, see you.